Hey guys, Ashley here with another reaction video, and this is another one of Garina's videos. And this one is a continuation from the a rant on anime romance and abuse. And I pretty much feel like reacting to this, being like, oh my gosh, I gotta react to this. So that I can get the word out for you guys too. So yeah. Let's check this out, shall we?
I do not
Oh,
like
use some monogamous music. That's cool.
Okay, like, even more so her manga counterpart. There were multiple times she really
the same
bugged me.
picture for the whole
First,
video.
she invades Edward's privacy.
Oh yeah, no.
Which I really didn't appreciate. She may have regretted it, but that doesn't change the fact that she's constantly delving into things she probably shouldn't. That was irritating. That's
yeah,
maybe
pretty much
once.
what was going on
care.
for.
There was also she's constantly throwing wrenches at Edward. She's constantly blaming him for breaking his automail whenever it ain't his fault.
Yeah.
She's constantly crying. Her feelings are constantly pushed in her face.
In Brotherhood.
In 03, at least she
and
doesn't
Mangahood.
cry as much, and she holds back not to worry people. She just irritates me in Mangahood. Like,
I didn't really read the manga, so I'm not really sure, honestly.
Ready for him whenever she gets back.
Yeah.
Okay, that right there is sexist.
I'll repeat this again.
She is a bitch. I do not like
that was the old times.
Winry. She's constantly blaming. I don't like whenever people say their relationship is pure as it is. No, it's not. There's a lot of
Winry is
There's a lot
that. She's a beach. B-E-A-C-H.
I do not ship it as it is. I ship it in the fact of what it could be.
Yeah.
Of the potential it has. Of whenever Winry stops being abusive towards Ed. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's just for comedy. This is the cutest thing ever. No, it's not cute whenever abuse is romanticized. And I know for a fact that I'm going to get a lot of dislikes.
She got on my nerves. A lot. 03, she was tolerable.
I don't understand why
she at least had independence.
So whenever I'm seeing the flaws,
I especially like that episode where she and Cheska actually go and investigate into Hughes' murder case.
To leave it alone. She goes in out of curiosity and wanting. She don't give a shit about what he says. She goes behind his back and messes with it, which shows that Edward cannot.
Well, she is a mechanic after all.
She'll do something that's wrong. And then to top it off, and at the end of Mangahood, after all this stuff she's done to him, after all this crap, she expects him to save everybody like he's some superhuman.
He's no homunculus.
I don't even know where to begin with this. It's not like in my other video about how it's not funny to romanticize abuse. Well, man,
I find it kind of funny that Envy treats Edward more better than Winry ever did.
That she's constantly using him for her own gain. At the same time, Edward doesn't let her in. He doesn't really care to let her in, it seems like. Sure, it may be painful for him to keep this stuff to himself, but at the same time, like, that right there is actually a sign, despite what she's done to him, despite how. Then, of course, she causes him to feel guilty because she can't admit, she don't want to admit that she's the one who messed up his automail, so he feels responsible for it. And she just lets him believe it. Like, what the hell? I don't like it. Like,
I never really read most of the manga, so I'm not really sure what she's fully like. But given the information, wow, Winry is terrible in comparison to her 03 counterpart.
But it's not to the degree of.
Oh yeah, talking about 03.
Mangahood. Winry and Mangahood canon Winry really irritates me. She's pretty much useless.
Yeah, indeed.
At least in 03, she gets off her ass and goes and researches the death of Hughes.
And she's not just a mechanic in 03.
In Mangahood, she don't do anything of the sort. She just sits back and expects Edward to fix everything.
And literally,
and
she's just
she
the
can't
mechanic
do
in
anything
that.
for herself. But 03 gave her a little bit of a more interesting arc than... and in fact, I don't like the fact that Brotherhood has a lot... Mangahood has a lot of coincidence-driven plots. Like the fact a girl just so happens to walk by on a conversation regarding her. How many times have you seen that? I know for a fact I've seen that a lot. And that's not even my biggest complaint with this. It's the way she reacts and the way, of course,
it's way too extreme, to be honest.
Either. But whenever she points a gun at him, he's like, "If you shoot, you'll be my enemy too." I didn't like the way he did that. I didn't like the way he threatened her. But at the same time, I didn't like the way Winry, she lost it. Like, she went ballistic, and I mean, at the same time, it kind of makes sense, but 03 had a lot more subtle take on it. The way she accepted it, she didn't start crying or anything, or whatever. She did cry in her past whenever she found out that her parents had been killed, but she didn't lose it like she did in Mangahood. Yeah. She accepted it, like, more subtly, more humanly. She didn't want
Which is why I like 03 better. It actually handles situations, and
instead she accepts it. Like, of course, I understand it's
subjects kind of better. Makes you think.
Killed their parents, but at the same time,
sure, Brotherhood kind of has that too, but
better. Like, she doesn't want to worry people, so she keeps it.
For some reason, I feel like Brotherhood is spoon-feeding slightly half the time.
In 03. She's more sympathetic in 03, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Someone I can sympathize or empathize with more in 03 than Mangahood. She's just a bitch, an asshole. I don't like her in Mangahood at all, for the most part. Like, I don't completely 100% hate her, but at the same time, I have a hard time liking her at points because of the way she is. She's constantly invading people's privacy. Well, I wouldn't say constantly, that's an overword, but the fact that she did this to Edward whenever he specifically told her no, to leave it alone.
I know. In fact, in some scenes where she's just overly dramatic, I'm like,
she went
cry out loud, woman. Anyway. Can you just calm down and just...
Of course she felt regret afterward whenever she realized, but it was already too late. That doesn't take away what she did. It's like, you can forgive somebody, but you're not going to forget what they did to you. That's one strike that she made, one thing that she did wrong. And I just don't like her. I just do not like Mangahood Winry at all. And I don't like 03 Winry the most, but she's a lot easier to tolerate than Mangahood Winry, because Mangahood Winry is just useless.
Not to mention she and Sheska actually are pretty cool together.
She's abusive. She's manipulative, I want to say, but I don't really think that goes along. It does in a certain sense. Like, sometimes she does things and Edward don't even suspect it. And, like, the fact that he still loves her.
Yeah.
The fact that he still wants to be with her despite what she does.
Why would you want to be with this girl?
Despite that he's intimidated by her.
Why do you want to date this girl again, Ed?
I think...
After all she put you through, you still want to be with her?
W, she said it was the second, and I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, it was the second OVA.
OVA that Winry is being bribed by Edward, basically not to beat him. That's the literal gist of it, is that Edward is bribing Winry with earrings not to beat him. And
poor
like,
Ed.
What? And
at least with Envy, it would actually be not very abusive, but rather getting a chance to help open up.
Because he
have Envy open up to others.
Instead of
and
making her
he would be possessive, but overly protective.
Obligated,
like I said,
he should not have to feel obligated not to convince her not to beat him. That's something that should come without saying. She shouldn't be beating him. She shouldn't be throwing wrenches at him. She shouldn't
be
blaming
wonder
him for things
why were
fault.
Ed and Al friends with her, honestly, if she was going to be the abusive type.
No.
As well as drama queen.
I'm sorry. You don't beat somebody constantly.
It's not
after
good.
you've not seen them in a long time, and other times as well, blame them for things that aren't their fault, and then expect them to let you in. Then expect them to rely on you. No, that don't work. And
In 03, she had others she can count on aside from just Ed and Al.
No matter how you look at it. Like, sure, she cares for him in some sense, and he cares for her a lot, but honestly, 03 left me with a more satisfying feeling. A lot of people get all bitchy about how Winry left Edward behind, and I don't like it because Edwin didn't
whiny
become a
fan
thing.
brats.
And I'm like, you
That's a good
are
impression.
stupid. Like,
yeah.
Why is it one little detail like that bugs you? Why would he want to be with her whenever? Why would he get?
That was weird in the mic.
Whenever she's constantly doing that stuff to him, like he's the
truth music
is
changed.
that people who get to an abusive relationship, if it's abusive enough, it can become Stockholm syndrome or something of the sort. You can become trapped in a abusive relationship and actually fall in love with the person who's abusing you.
Yeah.
You will not be able to pull away from that relationship, and that's actually unhealthy. It's not that. I'm not even going to go into this too much, but the fact of the matter is 03, I actually preferred it because it showed that, well, especially in the script where Roy and Winry actually
talk about the movie script again.
Was epic, which was awesome, but they didn't include it.
Yeah.
That aside,
that would have been very,
honestly,
very much more forgiving.
Winry felt more personal to me in the 03 series.
Mm-hmm.
In 09 and in Mangahood, she was just a pain. She was just
why is she such a pain?
In 03, I think that I liked her more. She was not useless. She did things to help others, and she actually was a help to the story itself, instead of just a supporting cast, all that she was there for in Mangahood was to support the other characters. She didn't make herself a better
she's also
character.
pretty useless in Sacred Star Milos because she only made a cameo.
Whenever characters are like that. They have to build themselves up and actually play a role in the story. Unlike in 03, Winry, again, as I said, and I cannot emphasize this enough, she helped in finding out the truth about Sloth and found out information
oh, hey,
about,
there's a picture down there.
Hughes's death. She actually played a role in the story itself. She was not just some background character that was constantly crying. A stereotypical character like Lucy, well, I wouldn't say Lucy Heartfilia is a stereotypical.
She's talking about a different character from another anime.
That she has these independent moments, like the fact that she confronts her neglected father. That's something I appreciate, but still, it still remains the fact that they are pretty much a lot alike. It's just not something I care for. That's why I do not care for Lucy, and I like some of the other fairy tale characters, but Lucy is a character I don't care for. Sakura is a character from Naruto.
Oh, Sakura from Naruto. I remember her. I didn't really like her at all.
Constantly making people feel bad for her, and constantly making
that's
other
the intention
feel
with pink hair
and
characters.
I don't like it. And then
pink hair female characters at that.
It's supposed to be.
The only pink character I know who's from
other characters
in an anime that kind of pretty much works
that aren't even love interest
was
treat Edward better.
Yeah. Want to know who also treats Ed better? Envy.
I don't know. I just
in
don't
a weird way
because of the way she acts sometimes, because of the things she does. Like, sure, I understand it's not as bad as killing somebody, but at the same time, I've seen her type too many times in anime, especially Mangahood's Winry. 03 Winry was more independent, and I appreciate that. She was not there just to develop Edward. She was there to develop herself, to play a role in the story, an actual role.
This music
was a big help
to
the story itself.
Good uses.
And I just don't like Mangahood Winry, and I've said this numerous times, but I just do not like her, and I cannot emphasize that enough. But yeah, anyway, these were some of my opinions, and yeah,
yeah, like I said,
I think I'll
in
leave it off
03,
there.
she's not just
and,
as mechanic.
Well, I didn't know that was there. But
So
yeah.
taking out when you
Anyway,
didn't notice.
If you do not agree with this, please do not even bother commenting or liking or, disliking or anything about that. Just leave this video be. Because I see faults with this, and I noticed I got a dislike on the video about anime romanticizing my
that
rant
actually happened.
on anime romanticizing
did someone actually leave a mean comment on there too?
I'm sorry, you little butthurt person, but it's true.
Yeah, it's the fanboys.
They shouldn't be making fun of that, and you've obviously not been a victim of abuse or whatever. You shouldn't even bother messing with it if you don't understand the concept itself, like, or are not willing to admit that it's wrong. Like, at least Ashley, who says she's not had too much experience with it, but she understands from what she's heard about it, it's not good. She admits that I was right. But you, whoever you are, you dislike my video for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it's something. I ain't even gonna go into this. But anyway, these were again some thoughts. And I'm mad because I keep on seeing people acting like 03. The 09 Winry is so good when she's not.
Honestly, I would definitely agree. People who praise Brotherhood, they don't really see the faults in it. Like, of course, with the whole Edwin shipping and that. I really don't understand that. It's okay if you basically like the shipping. I'm not saying you're not allowed to like it or anything. It's just that, well, from what Karina basically said in the video, you should at least look in deep on how you see it as, like, this pure couple or something like that. Once again, Envy. That's all I'm gonna say. Why? Because at least Envy would be a much more understanding partner. Sure, he himself basically wouldn't be able to understand it at first, but in time it could work. It would eventually work. But yeah. Also, one more thing. This was something that I made, and well, this sums up my feeling about Winry and Brotherhood in general. So just a sec. Yes, I pretty much drew them as Pokemon. Winry is a Raichu, as a Jolteon, and Envy here is in fact a Grovyle. Face it, girl, you're not good enough for him. I will put a link in the description for this picture. Anyways, I pretty much did this because, well, I just really did not like Winry at all in Brotherhood. Because she just got on my nerves so much. But anyways, guys, if you like this video, then that's great. And also, Karina, if you're watching this, you pretty much did what you did. You gave out what you needed to say and what you need to tell people and inform them. And this is Ashley. I will see you all later.